Today, I'm speaking to Nicola Pirrone. He is Research Director of the Institute of Atmospheric Pollution of the CNR in Italy. To introduce our viewers to your work, what are you currently involved in?
Well, I'm coordinating a large European-wide program on Earth observation to implement environmental policy. And this program involves 35 research institutions in Europe from 15 countries and mobilize more than 40 million euro of investment.
I've seen some of your work around atmospheric mercury emissions. How dangerous are these emissions to the population?
As you know, mercury is primarily a global pollutant that can get in the food chain through contaminated, fish, for example, or contaminated food. And the people can be exposed to doses of mercury that are above a certain threshold level that health organization have fixed as the threshold value. And mercury is a very toxic pollutant, can cause a number of diseases, is very dangerous for our health and also for ecosystem. The Minamata Convention is aimed to somehow to find some solution to help nations and countries to find cost-effective measures that can be implemented at the national level in order to reduce the impact of this highly toxic pollutant on human health.
Leading on from the emissions processes, do you believe that the global lockdown has made governments and citizens more aware of how their activity is affecting air pollution levels?
Environmental pollution that can cause yearly deaths in the world. There are many cities that have air quality very poor, and due to a number of sources like traffic. And so we need really to reinforce the strategy that already many countries have been undertaking in the last few years to decarbonize our economy. So we need to move the transportation system to electrical system and possibly to produce electricity, the power using solar energy, solar system, and a number of the technologies already mature, is widely used worldwide.
These changes that you're talking about, do you believe that the solutions will come down to individual or government action or both?
I think it's both. The key strategy is to change paradigm of our life. So personal attitude, personal behavior is very effective also on the government behavior, on the political choices that government can do. But this depends on the public perception, public pressure on the government in order to make a change in political strategy for the future. So they are very much connected, and we need to act locally to have a global effect. And if we want to have a global success, we need to, first of all, to keep our house in order. So to clean up our house in order to clean up the world.
Do you see events such as World Environment Day signifying this change in individuals to a better and greener world?
Event like Environment Day is a key in order to mobilize the world population, to make sure that world population is really aware. So as awareness strategy, I think is good because you raise the attention on issues that we live every day, like the climate, like the chemical pollution. There are parts of the world that they are low income and they have also the poorest environmental quality. Very often there is a strict correlation, but also the so-called developed country, economically speaking, very often have a very poor environment. We have a number of big issues to deal with, and public awareness, public engagement in this big challenge is the way to go. And I really encourage a number of non-governmental organizations, citizen organization. We need a bottom-up approach in order to push the government and all decision makers and all policy makers to act now, not tomorrow. It is now we need to act in order to see the benefit tomorrow.